Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all of you to our webinar on EPR Compliance Guide for Environment Protection End of Life Vehicle Rules 2025. And it has been quite a long time that we have not conducted any webinar, but we are very happy that we have come back with a webinar that is going to be very important since the ELV vehicle rules are enforceable now from 1st April 2025. I'll just quickly give you a little bit of brief about the organization. A A Garg Co is a management consulting firm and subject matter experts under the domain of circularity and sustainability. And we specialize in domain of extended producer responsibility, environmental, social and governance, corporate finance, and business operations. Tech-enabled solutions as well. So now our greatest asset is our people, a team of sustainability specialists, environmental engineers, MBAs, chartered accountants, technical experts, and senior partners who collaborate seamlessly to tailor every engagement to your unique objectives. At A2G, we are passionately committed to delivering value added services that not only meet your goals, but also leave a lasting and positive imprint on the environment and on your organization as well. With over 5 years of domain knowledge and expertise, A2G has guided numerous companies to successfully meet their EPR objectives and compliance requirements across multiple obligated waste streams. We provide wide range of services such as EPR compliances, ESG reporting, consulting, and advisory. I would like to introduce myself right now. I am Arushi Thakur and I will be your moderator for today's session. And it is my pleasure to be guiding you through today's session. Now I see a lot of people have already joined us in. So I would like to introduce our expert speaker panel for today, and then we can dive into our session and start sharing the information. So today we have a panel of distinguished experts, each bringing a unique blend of technical mastery, regulatory insights, and hands-on experience in EPR and sustainability advisory. First up, we have Ms. Ipsita Roy. She's Senior Manager at A A Garg Co. And with an academic background in life sciences and environmental sciences, Ms. Roy brings deep subject matter expertise in EPR regulations and waste management practices. And she has been instrumental in educating corporates on environmental responsibility, particularly in critical sectors like plastic packaging, e-waste, battery waste, tire waste, and of course, end-of-life vehicles, helping them understand and implement best practices in sustainability. Now, then we have Ms. Himani Aaron. With over 2.5 years at A2G, Himani serves as our manager, spearheading critical initiatives across the EPR audit assurance and advisory verticals. And she leads the end-to-end execution of EPR value chain assessments and plays a key role in liaising with national regulatory and advisory bodies. Her ability to navigate complex regulatory landscapes and ensure effective on-ground execution has established her as an important part of A2G team. Now, these are our speakers for today. And before we start the session, let's go through some webinar rules so that we have a smooth session. So this meeting will be recorded and only the discussions would be recorded without attributing to the speakers. And we kindly request everybody from any restrictions from spamming or marketing during the session. Now, towards the end, there will be a Q&A session and you can enter your queries in the Q&A section. And towards the end, I, the moderator, will read them out during the Q&A session and the experts will address them accordingly. And since we have limited time with us, so I will request everybody to avoid any repetitive questions. And please kindly restrict the discussion to the mentioned topic only. And please note that the current presentation will not be distributed out of security reasons. However, we can share the same on request basis. So if you are looking for the presentation that is going to be presented here, kindly drop us an email or you can share your message on the WhatsApp community or the numbers given in the website. And the recording of the webinar will be available on our YouTube channel. So in case you missed anything, you can revisit the webinar as per your convenience. Okay, so now that we have covered the speakers, we have covered the rules. So we will directly dive into the presentation today. So, as many of you know that India's automotive industry is one of the largest in the world, and with growth comes responsibility. Every year, millions of vehicles reach the end of their life, and India is expected to generate 8 to 9 million tons of end-of-life vehicles by 2025. Now, without proper recycling, this becomes an environmental compliance risk. And these end of life vehicles represent not just a challenge, but also an opportunity. So, on the one hand, unmanaged ELVs can cause serious environmental hazards from the leakage of oils, fuels, coolants to the unsafe disposal of plastics, rubbers, and heavy metals. But on the other hand, ELVs also hold immense potential in terms of resource recovery, as nearly 60 to 70% of vehicles material, primarily steel, aluminum, and valuable auto components, can be recycled or repurposed. Now, the EPR framework for ELVs under the 2025 rules is a very crucial step to ensure that producers, bulk consumers, and other stakeholders take accountability for the sustainable dismantling, recycling, and recovery of vehicles at the end of their road road life. Now, one more fact for you that the import cost of stainless steel scrap at 45,694 billion rupees and high extraction pressure safe and regulated ELV scrapping is the way forward, right? And India's passenger cars are still made up of 69% steel. But with only 60 kg of plastics per vehicle, just half the global average, material recovery from end of life vehicle is a huge opportunity to achieve circularity. And since all of you are aware that EPR is developing very well in India, and we have started from EPR in plastic packaging, then came your e-waste, battery waste, plastic waste, used oil, waste tire, end of life vehicle. Now our upcoming EPRs are construction and demolition waste and scrap of non-Fe metals. And there is one EPR which is still in draft stage, which is your packaging made of paper, glass, metal, and sanitary products. So now when it comes to the ELV EPR, there are other EPRs also that are part of it, which is your battery waste, plastic waste, used oil, waste tire. Since your vehicles, they consist of waste tires, they have some oils, coolants in it, and the plastics and the batteries. So all of these components are covered under separate EPR streams, and under your ELV, only the steel, which is a major component of your vehicle, will be covered. So now that I have set a foundation for all of you guys for the ELV webinar for today, so I will invite our expert speakers to guide you through the complex EPR rules that have come up so that you can stay compliant with all the upcoming regulations. So I invite Ms. Ipsita Roy to guide us through the rules. So yeah, over to you, Ipsita.
Thank you, Arushi, for setting up the context so much beautifully and stating the facts about ELV that were yet unknown to today's world. Well, going ahead, I'll first of all take you through the overview of the rules. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has released the Environment Protection End of Life Vehicle Rules 2025 in exercise of the powers under the Environment Protection Act of 1986. The rules provide a regulatory framework for the management of end-of-life vehicles within the country. And yes, the rules were enforced on 1st of April 2025, have already been enforced. I'll be first of all taking you through the structure of obligated entities, the vehicles which are covered and obligated under the rules, what are the EPR targets under each and every regulation, and the regulatory implementation towards it. First of all, there are three kinds of entities that are obligated. The producer, who either would be manufacturing, assembling, or selling the vehicle under their own brand name within the country, or selling the vehicle produced by other manufacturers or suppliers under its own brand name, or directly importing the vehicles. The bulk consumer is a second kind of an entity who owns more than 100 vehicles, including a state transport undertaking. And the third kind of entity is a RVSF, which is the Registered Vehicle Scrapping Facility. As the other EPR rules, This rule also follows the similar guidelines that any entity shall not deal with any of the unregistered entities. That means all the entities, whether falling under the producer category, bulk consumer category, or the RVSF, have to get themselves registered. Producers will have the EPR target in place and they have to fulfill by purchasing the EPR certificates generated by registered RVSF on the online portal. Producers are also responsible for collection to fulfill the scrapping targets in case there is a shortfall of EPR certificates. Other stakeholders are also mentioned within the rules, such as collection centers, automated testing stations, and registered owners. Coming to the obligated vehicles, first of all, let me take you that what is the definition of a vehicle, of a motor vehicle in the Motor Vehicles Act. Any mechanically propelled vehicle adapted for use upon the roads. It includes a chassis which is without a body and a trailer. However, this very much excludes a vehicle running upon fixed rails or a vehicle of a special type adapted to use on a specially or an enclosed premises. Having less than 4 wheels fitted with engine capacity of not exceeding 25 cc. It will include all kinds of vehicles which are electric vehicle, battery operated vehicle, e-rickshaws or e-cars. This means it is applicable to two-wheelers, three-wheelers, light motor vehicles, medium motor vehicles, as well as heavy motor vehicles. The exclusion here which are mentioned are with respect to any special purpose vehicles such as agricultural tractor, agriculture trailer, and the combined harvested power trailer. Coming to the EPR targets. The EPR certificates that are generated are based directly on the weight of steel scrap which is generated on a per kg basis. The EPR target will be calculated based on the average life of the end of life vehicle as per the category of the vehicle, which is the transport vehicle and the non-transport vehicles. And the EPR targets are mentioned in Schedule 1. I'll take them in detail in the coming slides. The regulatory implementation states that for all the obligated entities, there will be one-time online registration. The EPR obligations shall be fulfilled via deploying schemes for EPR fulfillment through collection or scrapping of ELVs and purchase of EPR certificates. Validity of the EPR certificates will be for 5 years. There will be a quarterly reporting scenario for all the RVSFs, while the producers and the bulk consumers will be filing the annual returns, which will be due on June 30 for the preceding year. Producers will be uploading the list of the collection centers on their website and the online portal. There will be environmental compensation also introduced for each of these obligated entities, that is producer, bulk consumer, and the RVSF. Producers are also meant to comply with the provisions of AIS 129, which are the guidelines for ELV provisions. These are stipulated under the Central Motor Vehicle Rules of 1989. And yes, automated testing stations is another very important factor, which will finally analyze that what is the scenario of the vehicle and is it going to go ahead with the RVSF facility or not. Next slide. Coming to what are producers? So producers, as I mentioned above, are the brands who will be ultimately introducing the vehicles or any motor vehicle in the market. They can directly manufacture or assemble and sell the vehicle under their own brand name. They can sell the vehicles manufactured by other manufacturers or other entities or suppliers, and they can also import the vehicles and directly sell into the market. The responsibilities that they own are for registration. They have to do the online registration on the CPCB's online portal, which will be introduced within the 6 months timeline. They shall not deal with any of the unregistered entities. That means once once the vehicles are towards the end of life, they will have to deal only with the registered RVSFs. The EPR obligations will be for the vehicles introduced in the domestic market, including the vehicles put in self-use. The EPR obligations will be fulfilled through purchase of EPR certificates generated by either own RVSFs or by any other entities having RVSF. Meeting the scrapping targets for ELVs is also essential for the producers. Encouraging the consumers to deposit the end-of-life vehicles at the RVSF or designated collection centers. Producers need to file the annual returns in Form 1 on the centralized online portal by June 30. Declare their EPR obligations by 30th April of the same year and take measures to comply with AIS 219. Arrange to receive the ELVs from registered owners at designated collection centers and upload the list on the website and online portal. If operations cease, the producers must fulfill EPR obligations for all vehicles already in the market. This is about the producers. Moving ahead to the EPR targets. There are two kinds of categories that have been identified in the rules. One is the non-transport vehicle. The average life would be 20 years, and the another category is transport vehicle, for which the average life is 15 years. Starting from 2025 to 30, the target accomplishment would be minimum of 8% of the steel used in the vehicles placed in the market as per the end of life of the non-transport vehicles and transport vehicles. The second slab is for 2030 to 35, wherein the achievement target would be minimum of 13% of the steel used in vehicles placed in the market. And the third slab is for 2035 to 2039, wherein the minimum criteria is for 18% of the steel used in the vehicles placed in the market. From 2039 onwards, a minimum of 18% of the steel and vehicle placed in the market for 2019-20 to 2039-40, and for the subsequent years of the steel used in vehicles for as per the average years. Moving on. So the targets of EPR. EPR targets are applicable for different categories as have been stated in the earlier slide. The recycling of the ELV means recycling of steel which is generated from the ELVs. EPR target for any other component in the vehicle, for example, batteries, waste tire, and used oil, are covered in separate rules. For example, for batteries, it is covered under the Battery Waste Management Rules of 2022. For waste tire and used oil, it is as per the Hazardous and Other Waste Management and Transboundary Movement Amendment Rules of 2022. Producers have to meet the EPR obligations online only via the EPR portal. And the producers also have to have the responsibility to collect in case of shortfall of the EPR certificates. Coming to the forms, there are two forms for the producers, one for the registration and the another one for the annual return filing. For the registration, there are certain information that is required, such as name, registered address, website address and contact details, GST number, TIN number, and the detail of the vehicle manufactured. For annual return, the producer needs to fulfill the basic details of the facility and the authorized person, the details of the vehicle placed in the market of the year on which the EPR target is calculated. The details are as such: the type of vehicle, brand name of the vehicle, number of vehicles which are marketed, total weight of steel total weight of the vehicles, and the weight of steel in the vehicles. Details of EPR obligation and the ELVs collected and recycled in the particular year, and the details of RVSF wise EPR certificates. So that is all from my side. Over to you, Arushi.
Thank you so much, Ipsita, for covering the overview of the entire rules in a very quick detail and brief. I'm sure it has given a lot of clarity, like who all are the stakeholders and the obligated entities, what will be the EPR targets, and all other relevant information for the entities to stay compliant with the rules. Now, since you have covered the producers in so much of detail, so now I will invite Miss Himani to cover the remaining rules, wherein she will be targeting the other obligated entities, which are RVSFs and bulk consumers and other stakeholders, and some latest communication regarding the rules. So, yes, over to you, Himani.
Thank you, Arushi. Thank you, Ipshita, for covering and describing or setting the context of the rule. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining. Today we are discussing a very important topic. I think we all have seen, the disposed vehicle on the road at different spaces, right? So I'm hoping by implementation of these rules, many of our open spaces will be reclaimed, and yeah, we all can contribute in that because a lot of things are covered because of the dead vehicles which are there on the roads. So, starting with the topic, so basically, RVSF. So, what is RVSF? So, RVSF is basically the Registered Vehicle Scrapping Facility. So, it is a term given by the government to the spaces who are responsible for sound management or sound disposal of the dead vehicles. So in this particular facility, there will be different steps which will be covered. So the first responsibility is to treat the vehicle, to make the treatment. So basically to depollute, to collect the liquid or whatever waste which is being coming out of your vehicle, whether it is hazardous and non-hazardous. Dismantle the vehicle into different parts. As you all know that the vehicle cover, combined of a lot of different type of material. So this is their responsibility to dismantle it in a very proper manner. Then there is safe storage of various waste collected in separate bins. Then recycle or refurbish the material either in its own facility if they have the capacity, or send it to the authorized recycler or refurbishers who has the capacity in doing it in a right manner. So, so basically, these facilities they have to first register on the SPCB portal, and they can only dismantle those vehicles which are unfit, which are declared unfit by the authorities. So, so first they have to check their certificates whether they have the declaration certificate from the automated testing stations, and then only they can perform these operations on those vehicles. Whatever material which is recovered by these RVSFs, they have to process it, and then they send it to the registered entities. So they have the they can also generate credits for the steel which is recovered by them, and those credits can be purchased by the producers, which Ipshita mentioned. And the producer can use these certificates or these credits, steel credits, for settling of their obligation. uh, these RVSFs are responsible to maintain the records, all the ELV receipts they have, all the unfit vehicle certificates they have, weight of segregated waste, and they have to transfer only to the authorized facilities. They also have to submit the annual returns or the quarterly returns in Form 3 to SPCB by 30th of the following month. Next slide. So as we discussed that these RVSFs can only generate certificate on the weight of the steel. So there are a lot of material like you have glass, rubber, many other, different types of plastic. So all that they can only generate credits on the steel part. Okay. And the certificates which will be generated by them, that will be valid for 5 years. CB has to verify and authenticate the EPR certificate through the centralized portal. and these certificate will be purchased by the producer, like I told you. So they have to, whenever RVSF sell certificate to the producer, that will help them to settle off their liabilities, and that will happen on a first come first basis. So so basically, you know that the liability of the producer can be transferred also in another year. So the first year liability will be settled first if you purchase and use that certificate. All the transactions to be recorded and submitted on the portal while filing quarterly returns. Next slide. So there are two forms. The first form is form 5, which is for the application for registration of RVSF. So this basically, first covers the basic details. The part A covers the basic detail of the person or the facility which is being registered. Then the authorized person detail. Then before applying for, EPR registration, the facility should have consent to operate, and which should be valid when you are applying for the registration. Then the RVSF also should have the authorization under Rule 6 of Hazardous Waste Rule 2016. They should have a DIC certificate, a valid DIC certificate. In one of the part of the form, they have to declare all the waste categories, whether it is recycled or refurbished, both they have to declare, and the capacity of RVSF. This is a very important part where they have to tell that how many number of vehicles they can handle per annum. So there are two types of capacity. One is the installed capacity, and other is the operating. Last 3 years, how much they have operated, that also they have to mention. So another form is the quarterly returns, which they have to file, which is form 3. So they have to tell the basic detail of the facility and the authorized person, capacity in terms of vehicle per annum, detail of number of vehicle received and scrapped during financial year for which return is being filed, detail of EPR certificate generated and exchanged, detail of recovered, recyclable, refurbishable material sent to registered recycler or refurbisher, including material processed at RVSF itself, detail of hazardous, non-recyclable, non-refurbishable material sent to CHW TSDF. So these all details one has to file whenever they are filing the annual quarterly returns. So that means that all the RVSF should be prepared with like from this financial year, they should be prepared with all these details. All the documents recording of their day-to-day work should be done in such a manner so they will not face any difficulty while filing this return. Next slide. So now another obligated entity is bulk consumer. So any consumer who has ownership of more than 100 vehicles, they are included in this particular definition. As per the EPR, the first obligation is they have to register on the CPCB portal, centralized portal from state board. Then they have to ensure that the end of life vehicle are deposited at RVSF or the designated collection center or producer sale outlet, and they have to file return in form 2 on or before 30th June on the centralized portal. Form 6 is their registration form where they have to fill their basic details. The authorized person also has to fill their detail, and then they have to share the details of the undertaking under Road Transport Corporation Act or registration or its validity, the certificate validity under Companies Act 2013 as applicable. They also have to tell the number and detail of the vehicle registered or in possession. Like you know that there are different categories. So in those categories, they have to tell these details. Now the another form is the annual return by bulk consumer. So they have to tell the basic detail of the facility and the authorized person. Then they have to tell the detail of the vehicle registered and ELV deposit at RVSF, number of vehicle registered, number of diesel vehicle completing 10 years, and petrol and CNG or electric vehicle completing 15 years, number of fit vehicle, number of unfit vehicles, and number and detail of ELV deposited at RVSF. So all these detail has to be reported. Next slide. Yeah. So as you all know that I mean there is a recent notification from MOFCC dated 6th May 2025. So in that notification, I mean it is basically for implementation for EPR of end of life vehicle, reference to Environment Protection Rules 2025. Uh, uh, this is sent by member secretary, sent to member secretary SPCB and PCC, and copy to many other departments. So the main objective for this notice is to ensure that all the producers who are who are obligated under these rules, they should submit the EPR obligation for financial year 25-26 through a Google form, which they have given a link there on which they have to click and give the information. Next slide. So you know that we have to register, we have to do most of the things online, but right now this portal, the EPR ELV portal, is under development. So that is why government has given this provision where the obligated producers can fill their EPR obligation for this year in this Google form. So first they have to tell the details of the company, name of the company, GST number, company email, registered address, and then they have to tell the sales detail. So the sales details are bifurcated into two parts, known transport and transport. So for financial year 2005 to 2006, as per the vehicle types, one has to tell that how much they have sold in open market, the number of vehicle and total weight of steel used. Similarly, they have to tell how much they have sold to other producers, how much they have sold with which are co-branded, and how much are self-consumed. So these are the ways, these are the bifurcation or details one has to provide. Similar details has to be provided under transport category from financial year 2010 to 2011. So, so there are, like you all know that there are 5 categories of or 5 types of vehicle which are being considered under these rules. These are two-wheelers, three-wheelers, light motor vehicle, medium motor vehicle, and heavy motor vehicles. So this form has to be filled, and it is available for everyone. Next slide. So now we are covering the basic definitions of the stakeholders who are involved in this rule. So the first is the registered owner. So this means any persons on whose name the vehicle stands registered. So anyone like us who are consuming any vehicle which is being obligated under this rules has to be is considered as a registered owner. So in this case, if a minor has this, then the guardian of such minor has to be, I mean, they will be responsible for that. So the responsibility of the registered owner is that they have to deposit the unfit vehicle to the RVSF facilities only, the registered RVSF facilities only, and otherwise they have to give it to the designated collection centers or producer sales outlet. The deposit should be done within 180 days from the date when the vehicle become unfit. The certificate of deposit must be produced after declaring it as unfit. So that will be a proof for you that you have done it. So another is the bulk consumer, which we have already covered in the previous slide. Other is the collection centers. So collection centers are basically the areas that may be used for sole purpose of collecting, storing end of life vehicles and sending it further for processing. So they are like intermediate space between the user and the RVSFs, because these RVSFs located outside the cities. So it's very difficult for users to, I mean, to connect there. So that is why these facilities will be structured so that there will be ease of operations. So the responsibility of these collection center will be to collect, store end of life vehicle and send them for further processing. They will also ensure to handle the end of life vehicle in an environmentally sound manner. So they have to be, prepared with all the, things required to, store these end of life vehicles. They shall maintain record of the vehicles received and sent to RVSF. Another definition is the automated testing stations. So these are the facilities which are authorized by the state government, where the fitness may be conducted in accordance with the rule made by central government for recognition, regulation, control of such stations. So these stations will be responsible for testing the vehicles. After their testing only, they will declare whether that is fit or unfit uh, on the centralized online portal. The details can be uploaded either directly or through linking of the electronic portal set up by the central government. Next.
So, Himani, we have this much only.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Himani.
Thank you, Arush.
So, thank you so much, Imani, for covering all the remaining details, especially the RVSFs, bulk consumers, and collection center automated testing stations. Although these look like very simple terms and everything, but then there are a lot of compliances involved in all of these registered entities, all of these obligated entities, and how these EPR targets are being calculated, what are transport vehicles, what are non-transport vehicles, what is the average lifespan of each vehicle, and how those EPR targets will be calculated, and how all the foundation will be set up for this EPR rules to be compliant. Now, as Himani has discussed that the portal is still not up, CPCB is still in the process of developing the portal. And once the portal goes live, there will be a lot of developments that will be coming up. So we are seeing that the current EPR platforms which are active, for example, plastic packaging, e-waste, they have a lot of development going on, and there are new rules adding up, and many new changes are coming up on those platforms. So once our ELV platform is up and running, there will be a lot of new compliances, a lot of new things that will be adding up to these platforms and the rules and the regulations. So we'll make sure that as soon as those changes come up, we will inform you. So which is why you have to join our WhatsApp community. So now I would like to invite Ms. Ipsita Roy again to cover A to G's one-stop solution, which is a very important information for all of you. So yeah, Ipsita, over to you.
Thank you, Arishi, and thank you, Himani. So I'll take you through the one-stop solution of A A Garg Co. and how we work. So we call ourselves in this way as a one-stop solution providers for all the obligated entities, because we are working right from the very start, where we do the assessment for you till the point all the obligations are fulfilled. So starting from the verification of your obligations, how the obligations have to be fulfilled, what are the criteria of uploading the information on the online portal of CPCB with respect to the information asked by the government. We do an assessment, a thorough assessment of all the criterias, the information to be submitted in the form of registration, in the form of post-registration activities, how the obligations have to be fulfilled, what should be the best schemes for derived for your entity or for your company in terms of the collection of EPR, collection of the scrap and channelizing them to the recyclers or to the RVSFs, or directly going to the purchase of EPR credits. So we help you in understanding of all of these criteria, and this is how we do a basic compliance support for you. Our next set of services are with respect to the fulfillment or the project management services, wherein we do the project management of the entire EPR fulfillment in understanding and helping you collect, with the help of the agencies that you are working with. The credit sourcing and advisory services in the form of open sources or through a CircuX platform for the credit trade, and the traceability of the entire fulfillment done. The third part comes in wherein we do the regulatory consulting and advisory for timely regulatory updates. Getting you all the regulatory updates within very much in time, making you understand that what are the impact and the assessment for your industry, and strategic insights for your brand sustainability. We also do execution and enablement in the form of on-site and off-site support through direct or flexi model spokes and quick connect mechanism. We are working with more than 350 companies as of now, have done more than 500 registrations and post registrations. We have done the traceability of more than 5 lakh tons of waste, and have been supporting and advocating industrial issues with the regulators. So this is how we have been working. We have other bespoke services which are focused on the risk-based EPR implementation framework, customized implementation plan for spot audit reviews, for compliance gap assessment and report optimization, footprint assessment. We also do advisory for the circularity, wherein the recyclability assessment is one of our pros. We have spokes which are 30 virtual plus 10 on-site spokes, and global expansion in EPR across UK, Europe, and Japan. We have a delivery model which is very much customizable based on basic, advanced or end-to-end support services. So as per your requirement, we are there to support you through your compliance journey. This is about A A Garg and how we can support you. Over to you, Arushi.
Thank you so much, Ipsita, for covering the A to G's one-stop solution, and I'm sure it is going to help a lot of people here. So yes, thank you again, everyone, for joining us in this session, and we will see you soon with some another productive and some other sessions. And yes, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.